You started Nishani. Tell us a little about that.
Nishaani is a streaming platform that's been specifically designed to showcase Sikh content. A lot of people call it Sikh Netflix, an easy way to describe it.
What kind of content we get to see on Nishani?
There's kirtan and documentaries, there's children's programs as well. It was suitable for all ages, so whether that's young children, teens, adults as well. And they're learning about Sikh along the way in a fun and interactive way.
I don't know if you relate to this, but I perceive this as a seva because the whole concept of Sikhi is seva.
It's really important that we've created something that can still connect us back to Sikhi in those moments where we can't be in Sangha, can't be interacting with people and talking about Sikhi. It's about supporting each other and connect the whole community to Sikhi as best we can.
Harminder, welcome to Miles to Million Punjabi. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, our Sikh diaspora is here in Western culture. Have you noticed that when we move out, of our land, from our country, do we get connected more with our culture, with our religion, or is it that we're kind of like, stepping away from it?
I think it really depends on your family and maybe the friends around you. Um, at the end of the day, the more you're away from something, sometimes there's more of a kitsch or more of an attachment,
Mm.
and you want to stay connected. I know certainly for myself, being in England, there's a connection to Punjab, to back home. So yeah, there's certainly some challenges with being so far away, but I think certainly that love and that connection remains for Sikhi and for Punjab itself.
Since we're talking about kitsch, what was that kitsch? What was that connection that you started Nishani? Tell us a little about that. What is Nishani?
So Nishani was developed about just over 2 years ago. Myself and my brother, co-founders of Nishani. Nishani is a streaming platform that's been specifically designed and developed to showcase Sikh content. A lot of people call it a Sikh Netflix. It's an easy way to describe it and understand it. We developed this in light of being parents ourselves, and seeing our children on other platforms trying to learn about Sikhi. Us, wholeheartedly, trying to teach them through the amazing content that's available out there by Sikh content creators. But unfortunately, we were hitting some challenges where, they were um, exposed to adverts and inappropriate suggestions, and just becoming off topic. So these sorts of things, we saw these challenges over the years as parents and also ourselves. I mean, when we're on platforms as well, we have the same issues. And so that sort of led us to think, well, there must be a better way to enjoy, celebrate, and watch Sikh content. And, why not have it on a platform that we've developed ourselves, for the Sikh community? And that's where the Nishani journey started.
This is actually a very interesting concept because we've never seen Sikh channel, portrayed in a tech format. This is a whole new concept, a very different concept, and the way that you're reaching out to, uh, you know, decrease that gap between children growing up in the Western and then them connected to their roots to Sikhi. It's a very great initiative. And talking about the content, how are we reaching out to these content creators to showcase their knowledge, their talent on your platform? How does that work?
So yeah, we've had an amazing response from the content creators. We've had a lot of content creators coming on board from word of mouth. We've reached out to quite a lot of them ourselves. And the idea behind Nishani and having the content creators come on board is for the content to be available in one space where it's really easy to discover for the users, so that, you know, where they may not know what they're looking for, depending on where they are on their journey, they have it there available to them at their fingertips. They don't need to search for it per se, and they don't have to know what they're looking for. So the content creators have come on board. We are really passionate about supporting what they do. A lot of them do it in their spare time. They don't do it as a profession, and we want to support that. I think if we don't support them as a community, then I think they won't be able to produce as much as they are now, and they may not be able to produce as much in the future. So one of the key things we're really passionate about is bringing the content creators on board. There is no cost to the content creators to come on board. Nishani cover all costs in terms of streaming and hosting, etc. But what we're passionate about is giving back to the content creators. So we're self-sustaining. We don't have any major investors. We do this all in our spare time. So the subscription model is there to make sure that Nishani can sustain what it's trying to sustain, but also to give back to the content creators. So the content creators will get a proportion of subscriptions as well, subscriptions depending on views. So much like they would on another platform, depending on views, they get royalties, etc. Similarly, with Nishani, we do the same thing, and I think what's really interesting is a few of our content creators have reported back to us that they get more from Nishani than they do from other platforms, which is fabulous. I think one of our content creators told us that from Nishani they get 7% of their sort of viewership, yet they get, I believe, 50% of their income. So I mean, that's amazing.
Wow.
If we can do this with the small amount of subscribers that we have at the moment, I think what we can do for the content creators in the future and how we can support them will just be phenomenal. It will just be amazing.
But actually, you're absolutely right. If there are no content creators willing to, give out the information, their content out on Nishani, there, won't be Nishani because they're pulling out the information and giving to the audience.
I think the content creators are very passionate about what we're doing as well. I think they see how it's valuable to the Sangat, and to the wider community. So I think they're super passionate about what we're trying to do, and they want to show their support as well. So I think that's amazing.
This is good. And what kind of content we get to see on Nishani? Because I do know it's for all ages. It's just not for kids.
Absolutely. Nishani was developed so that it was suitable and appropriate for all ages. So whether that's young children, whether that's teens, whether that's adults as well, There's a wide variety of content available to watch. So there's kirtan and documentaries, and there's children's programs as well. We also develop our own original content. So we've created two characters, Jap and Jas, they're cousins, and they have their own animation series. So they go on lots of adventures to the seaside, etc. And they're learning about Sikhi along the way in a fun and interactive way. So children will have lots to watch for themselves. We also have a lovely bedtime series called Story Before Soila, and they can watch and enjoy books, and they can read along themselves. So children can read and watch books, Sikhi books, so they're all related back to Sikhi. we've got some amazing content that is available for the older children as well. My daughter is 11 now, so she's not so much into the cartoons anymore, but she's more into music and songs. And so we have a lot of conscious music as well. So we have some lovely songs from Taran Kaur as well, and some other content creators like Golden Roots, Alfresh the Lion from Australia. He does some amazing rapping, and he talks a lot about struggles growing up in the diaspora as well. So I think it's all things that children can relate to, older children can relate to, and even us as adults can relate to as well. I think there's amazing amount of there's kirtan as well, so amazing kirtan from Kirtan Fai, kirtan you may have heard of, and we've got some katha discussion about Gurbani as well. So Nanak Naam is available to watch there as well. I think what's key is we have a lovely mix. We have a mix for everyone. We have our own content. We have content of others available too. And I think it's something that's been created to support the community. So it's not something we've developed for ourselves. It's not it's not something we've done for us. It's something we've done for the whole community. It's something that we're trying to reach out to the whole Sikh community and anybody that's interested in learning about Sikhi as well, because I think that's quite key as well. Sikhi is for anybody that's interested and wants to learn, and it's available to everyone.
I don't know if you relate to this, but I perceive this as a seva, because the whole concept of Sikhi is seva. You're doing this initiative along with your brother to help educate individuals about our Sikhi, about our religion. I see as a part of seva as well. And for someone who's doing it on a bigger level, someone for doing it for the community, what strives them to wake up out of the bed and do it every single morning, every single day, that okay, this is Nishani, I'm focused in building Nishani. What is the thing that makes you wake up every single morning and then focus on Nishani?
I think it's an interesting question. It's a very good question. At the end of the day, it's the passion, it's the reason behind it, it's the purpose. The reason we created Nishani was for us, but also for our future generations. At the end of the day, like you said, it's unusual to see us doing something like this in the tech industry, and I think that in itself is an amazing situation. I mean, we can't get away from technology. At the
You're
end of the
right.
day, we're in that era. There's nothing more I would want as a parent than to see my child running around outside playing in the park, and being with nature. But in this technological era, we just can't get away from the tech. And so I think it's really important that in we've created something that can still connect us to back to Sikhi in those moments where we can't be at Gurdwara Sahib, where we can't be in Sangat, where we can't be interacting with people and talking about Sikhi. It's there for us in all those other moments. I was at a Sikhi camp last month, and Granthi Sahib was saying, to the children, what are you going to do? What are you going to take away with you when you go home? What are you going to do when you get home? What are you going to learn? What are you going to, experience every day? And it was a bit of a light bulb moment for me at the time, because I thought that's exactly it. Nishani is for all those moments that you can't be there. It's for when the kids are crying in the car, and then they're just getting annoyed because you haven't got to your destination yet, and you can give them something wholesome to watch and distract them. It's for when we need some peace, some meditation. We need some guidance. We need some gatha. We need Guru Sahib's words explained to us. It's for those moments, and I think the response that we have is what drives us. We've When we hear back from parents, when we hear back from subscribers, and they say, oh my God, this is amazing. You've now got the app now as well. It's made our life so much easier. Literally 2 days ago, somebody sent me a voice record of their child asking to watch Jup and Just. And, it's those moments where you're like, you know what, this makes it worth it. There's obviously we also made some physical products. So we made some plush toys and jigsaw puzzles, magazines, and quite often we would get photos from parents saying, here, this is my child with their Jup or Just plush toy. They're so happy, the plush toy looks like them. They've named it, they've changed the name, and they're hugging it, and they just see the children playing with the toys, and they see themselves, that representation that they may not have in other toys.
This is what I was gonna say, is that everything that happens in our life, every path that we go, that we take in our life, Babaji is pointing us in the right direction, that he sees the bigger picture for us. We might not see it, right there and then, but when we look back and say, okay, this is what, Vaiguruji was planning for us. And that's how we both get connected. And I really like the concept. And I was like, let me just reach out to you or been there. Coming back to the concept, you were saying that growing together as siblings, launching this business, solo by yourself. Do you have any vision moving forward? Like growing a bigger team. Where do you see Nishani in next 5 to 10 years?
Sure. I mean, Nishani was created for the Sangat, not for us, but we do have a huge passion to see it succeed, because we can see the potential, what we can do as a community, for ourselves, for the Sangat, for the content creators, the inspiration and the confidence it could build in future generations, to have Nishani to look towards. Potentially we could grow. We have dreams of TV apps. So we are looking at developing television apps, so that Nishani will be there on your smart TVs next to Netflix,
Oh
Disney
wow.
Plus, Prime. And those sorts of things are very possible. um, if we had just tens of thousands of subscribers, considering there's millions of Sikhs around the world, even if we had tens of thousands of subscribers, it's something that is doable and possible. So, the dream is to have the TV apps. The dream is to provide more original content and to support content creators to develop more content as well. So, original content, alongside that, would be to link the children, particularly, and also older adults as well, to Punjabi, our maa boli. At the end of the day, for us as the diaspora, particularly, it's been a struggle. Even despite learning Punjabi growing up, sometimes we don't have that same fluency that we would like in English. So, very much there's a big passion, I think, and a great need and a demand for assisting the Sangat in learning Punjabi, and that would be fantastic if we can provide that service through Nishani as well. And yeah, so it would be amazing to grow as an organization, so that we can it can be something that the community turns to. I think at the moment, children or young adults will look have dreams and aspirations to go and work for Disney or Pixar or something like that. And it would be fantastic if, as a community, we can grow Nishani where, we are an option, where, children will be like, yeah, I can go work for Nishani when I'm older, and I can learn to be an animator, and we'll be making amazing Sikh films in the future, and we'll be supporting other content creators. That's just it. It's about supporting each other, coming together as a community, and working together. I think sometimes we can feel a bit disconnected. There's
Right.
so many great organizations out there that are doing so many wonderful things. and it would just be fabulous if we could just bring everybody together so we can utilize our skills and experiences, and yeah, and make some great content, and connect the whole community to Sikhi as best we can.
You're absolutely right over here, and this is what I'm gonna say to viewers over here is that, think of Nishani as an investment for your kids' future. You know, especially what happens when you live in Sikh diaspora. You get so busy involved in your own lives. Sometimes you don't have time to spend time with your kids and then teach them all those stories. And this is what I especially see, that you need to have daddies, you need to have nannies around with you, so that they keep your grandkids connected to Sikhi. But if they're not with you, this is where Nishani comes in. Nishani will teach your kids the connection that they can have with Sikhi. You know, in this day and age, kids are really smart. They can just literally turn on the computer or laptop, and then just they can literally watch the content they have on Nishane, and just think where they can be in next 15 to 20 years when they're connected to Sikhi. When just gives them confidence. Okay, this is where I belong, this is my roots in. And once they're connected to that, their confidence going to be so high and no one can break it.